I got that once. I didn't get. Yeah. It's nice. What about that? That's gonna be a lot.
I'm recording like James Barrett.
Yeah, I got one for my spam actually. Yeah.
So Wednesday, when we had the survey thing, I didn't know the like I was on the full thing, but I didn't know like the code for.
That's okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, so when it's posted on campus and you can 0 out of 1 for that day, just send me a notification somehow.
Okay.
So email or Piazza private post, just not campus message.
Okay,
Campus message, I definitely will not see.
you got it.
So that's I can just change it.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yeah, he's already just left this. Oh, yes.
He literally gave me the job, like, I came to swim my basement.
What?
Yeah.
When did you? Wait, you already switched?
But I didn't switch it, but we were talking.
Well, I showed him that I knew it's. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
No. Sent it to all my.
Like, the first day I posted, like.
Offer it to me. And then I started, it's like, this is just like, it's like 85. Conversion. So it's like a larger number. So I wanted to get more information, but they were sending me. Check.
Yeah, you can even start me.
Yeah, well, I'm checking. He said, oh, so what he said about that, I asked him.
Yeah.
He said about halfway through. They're gonna get the forms. They're gonna give us the forms.
Oh.
Yeah, and if you want us to add a reminder, that's our time. I was gonna add a math one, but you need like 4 of your math. I'm not sure, I'm not sure, extend my time period. It'd be nice. But I don't What money? I was like trying to mess people's. What? Yeah. I was hard, yeah.
And then we like.
I think if it doesn't work out. I don't even know if it's a thing. Was that too? Oh, yeah, I think she also used to full mark if you can bring it in, done. But it's the thing. Oh, we don't have to take. So you still get a full mark. Or we did take 3 or we have to take 3 on. Even during the best. Oh, I might just.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm just gonna extend it.
Yeah, I think like if you.
Well, I was on my graduation, my kids were just already.
Yeah, I feel like the question have this, but look at my units and this.
Class, you get full mark.
I mean, I have to keep it like that anyways,
Beginning of third.
but like,
Get like 8.
Yeah.
like I can add the electronics major or minor.
We should get asked.
I'm kind of working as.
And if you finish the lab, you can see, you can ask, like one of the people that don't walk around electronics, and then you can work on it after you finish the lab. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Just keep the.
Getting it. Team.
My one friend.
Well, it's just team.
They're already.
Lost 1.1.
Yeah, but it's gonna.
I also want to take.
Yeah, it's nice though. I like kind of going through the I'm like, we're learning like the playing, we're also trying to figure out. Like, you already know the algorithm.
Okay, I'd rather take care of that. Isn't that an upper division class?
I think the.
It's kind of basically just sort of it. Yeah, but it's.
I don't care if it's summer, then like, or I might never do a project.
Hey, I have, 8:30 now, so we can start. And I had a couple questions at the beginning before class about 310, if it will be offered in spring. I'm actually gonna amend what I said to you guys first. So let me talk to Ollie first. I'll come back to you guys on Wednesday with if there's any action items to do or if there's any news about it. But the other thing is Wednesday or Friday next week. I believe Wednesday next week. I'm gonna go through like all of the different courses that have to do with computer engineering. And I list like whether it's required for the new major or not. So from those, if 310 is not offered in spring, then of those classes, you can maybe take some of those courses in the meantime. Make sense? Okay, so Wednesday, I will come back with more news. And this is also a reminder that Monday there is no class. It's Labor Day? Yeah.
So how's that gonna affect the schedule? It's gonna go with our normal schedules or are things gonna be shifted around?
So I don't think 310 is like a requirement for anything afterwards. I need to don't quote me on that. But I don't think it would affect your graduation time too much. It would just mean that you for sure wouldn't be able to finish this year, but that was already a given because you haven't switched into the major, right? Because we're launching next year. I don't think it's too big of a deal other than maybe you wanted to take 310 earlier, it's all, right? Any other question? Okay. So today, if it will let me, we are going to go over some more examples of computer engineering, but kind of not more formally, but in more detail about these computer engineering examples. Right. So we had already talked about cars, right? So a car, it has, it's an embedded system where it has an onboard computer, right? And that onboard computer has many different tasks that it needs to accomplish. But overall, it's trying to accomplish one task, and that's be the computing system for the car. Okay? So we have different functions like the cruise control. So you need to be able to control the speed, also know what the speed is. So this is going to require a couple things. So you need, what sensors do we need? And what actuators do we need? Okay. So sensors, we talked about this. What do we, so yeah, ultrasonic. And what is ultrasonic for? This is for distance. Distance. What else do we need?
Is something measure time?
You wouldn't really need a sensor for that. That would be,
Is a clock.
yeah, so that would be a clock. But in terms of a sensor that measures, so a sensor is something that's going to measure the outside environment. You can use a camera for distance. As we mentioned, Teslas do this. So it could be either or. What other sensor? What does cruise control try and maintain? Speed. So accelerometer. Okay. So this is velocity. You had your hand up?
Yeah, a question.
Uh-huh.
Does the embedded system do all of those things, or do you need like one for each? Like, do you need one for each sensor, or will it do all of the sensors?
The onboard computer will do all of this.
Do all, like, everything listed on the.
Okay, so I think with these sensors, we can make some, at least some form of cruise control, right? But what about actuators? So what is an actuator? It doesn't necessarily have to respond to sensors. That's usually what happens, but it's a simpler definition. Sensors measure the environment, right? So an actuator it doesn't measure the environment. What's it doing to the environment?
Interacts with.
It changes the environment, right? So for cruise control, what's our actuator going to be most likely? Brakes. Yeah, you need to be able to use the brakes. What else should we be able to use? Accelerate. Okay. And then the automatic braking system, most likely same sensors, just different thread on the onboard computer. But entertainment system. So I'm just going to put sensors on top, actuators on bottom. What do we need for entertainment? So is a speaker a sensor or an actuator? Yep, so speaker. Right. We don't usually think of a speaker as an actuator, right? But it is creating sound waves in the environment. So it is an actuator.
Need some sort of display.
And this is kind of 2-in-1, right?
Yeah.
So a display. And it is also a sensor in that it's a touchscreen. Most likely. Right? Anything else?
That's the way to connect your phones.
So that would be like another system, so you can put some Bluetooth. And along the same line, someone said radio, right? Those are like separate systems. But you should be able to say access those systems on the display.
There's like dials or changing radio.
So let's just simplify it to dials, switches. Okay. Oh, wait, these would be not those. I put them in the wrong spots. Dials, switches. And then warning sensors, again, most likely back to up here, right? And then autopilot, the one thing that we highlighted last time is we need some sort of accelerator in order to do autopilot to look at the camera data. Okay, so let's try and draw this out as a kind of diagram. So in the middle, we have the car, computer. Okay. And branching out, we have a system that, or a task that it's trying to accomplish, right? So what's the first step? We can maybe combine these things, right? So autopilot, cruise control, warning system. Right? Because these things are mostly going to be using the same sensors actuators. And then off of this, we have, what did we say? So our sensors are ultrasonic, this is for distance. What else did we say?
Camera.
And we can say that's for 3D mapping. What other sensors? What are we trying to maintain in cruise control? Okay. This is for velocity. Okay. And then in terms of actuators, we need to be able to. So accelerator, speed up, brake, slow down. Okay. Yes.
So. Wouldn't you need something else for the, like actuators for the steering wheel, for autopilot? From the, accelerator?
So what should we call this? It would be a most likely stepper motor steering. So a stepper motor, the reason that we want this is that we can get more precise rotations. There are other types of motors. Anything else that we're missing here from before that we might need? Okay, so the other thing that we should add here is in this car computer, we have GPU for acceleration. And what's another task that we need to do? Entertainment, right? So with entertainment, what do we have? Touchscreen dials and switches. Touchscreen is for
To interact with the computer.
user input. Right? Dials. These are also for and then switches, also for user inputs. And then in terms of actuators, we have so this is for sound. And we have a display. This is for visuals. And then within our entertainment system, we also have like subsystems like Bluetooth, right? Maybe radio. And those things would also require There are various sensors, like you would need antenna for both of these. But is there anything else that we can add here as another subsystem? That you might have in a car?
This temperature, your AC.
Okay, so climate. What sensors do we need for climate control?
Temperature sensor.
This is, again, the description is for temperature.
Dials and switches for controlling that.
Your input, or in some cars, it could just be the touchscreen. So what else? What else do we need? So maybe air quality to know if you need to change your air filter. And an actuator would be fans. Maybe a pump for the radiator, things like this. Okay. And then in order to control all of that, this would actually be needing a controller. And it's going to use something called PID. So PID stands for proportional, integral, and derivative. So basically, it looks at those metrics for the curve of the temperature, and based on the current portion, integral, or derivative, usually a combination of all three of those things, it will maybe turn up the AC or turn down the AC to maintain temperature. And the same thing for cruise control. Right? So based on the velocity curve, I want to maintain this one velocity, and I'm going to use this control algorithm in order to accomplish that. So we'll talk more about that at a later lecture. But for now, what I want you guys to do is think of another embedded system like a car. And like with the people around you, kind of draw something similar to this for that system, where you have the main components in the middle, and then branching out what are the different tasks that it does, and for that task, what are the sensors, what are the actuators that it's using. And that is what I want you to do while you, and when you're done, the code is 702. So once you have one example together, then respond to the survey and just hit complete. But if, while you're still working on this, just don't worry about the survey yet. Yeah.
How do I get through? Like, am I supposed to put their username first here? Is it this one? 963?
No, so the last three digits are what's going to change. So Justin.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then 702.
702. All right, perfect.
And you see Wednesday as 0. Just let me know. I'll change it.
All right, thank you. Or, sorry, under, yeah.
Need you need a water heater. Yeah. Yeah, and it's even like. So, yeah. So that I got rid of my mixer. I have a.
What enabling Wi-Fi?
I'm sorry, you do.
Something like the main corner, it's probably gonna be a.
That's actually.
Yeah, Bluetooth.
Yeah, so that's.
Probably like a video.
Yeah, it does have the graphics. Well, so we can have that in subsection for Wi-Fi. Here, but like it's obvious. Wi-Fi.
Well, I'm using my.
Yeah.
Separate them.
Talking about the sensor and.
Like landscape lighting would be like timing. Or like outside.
Oh, yeah.
Timing for when also turn on and turn off. Unconditional.
Or I guess you might split it up, I guess, because I know those things like it's now. Like sound. Yeah. So, yeah, I just don't know what. They kind of go with time.
Oh, something to make split to my storage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry.
I think that's everything. That's there any besides temperature. Okay, let's start with the easiest. The sensor so confused. Oh, yeah, obviously. What happened? Options. Maybe. Actually.
Oh.
So the temperature sensor.
Oh,
And then I could probably need another test.
Oh, camera.
Oh, camera.
Because I know it's young.
Oh.
I guess you such a one that's like.
Yeah.
And then what else? It's, I think that's what I can. Yeah.
Like outside? What's that called? I know that, like, detected the.
Yeah, but it wasn't under managed practice.
Yeah, because that's what we would do, we measure the time for.
So for like an actually for sound would be like, you know, body.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. So what's wrong? The girls would both, I think that's fine. Yeah, that would be, I think so.
That'd be like one of the main.
Yeah.
Do you think it would measure?
Yeah, I think. I looked that up, so I have like all the corners of it.
Like.
I don't know.
And then,
We're going to get
But,
so they now select include like temperatures.
What do you do the like your sample lab?
Because those need to come from the lab. I have.
So they do have a pretty decent sense. It's the only thing. I don't like around that's what the.
We are.
Yeah.
That one.
That's your long.
Be the. But actually.
They didn't have like the whole semester long lab. It was just like a good lab. Yeah, for SAP services.
I know there's.
I know for sure to do, like getting groups and then do the project
That would.
for a semester long project.
If you like, if you think it's going to.
So, yeah.
And then like discuss, like, you have to do like some like software requirements and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's only that's like. Basically like any function.
Yeah.
After
It would
that.
kind of be like, all the different.
Oh,
Kind of an app, it's always like doing switches to do much like turn it on. Yes.
Yes, you can have one.
Oh, did you test it?
Yeah. I started. Viral shorts that they can take it.
I never did like that.
That's not one. Yeah.
That looks like they're- Right.
Yeah, we done. Yeah, we just want, we tried to list everything.
Smart.
So this is.
I like the brand.
It's super appliances.
You know what?
Dude, I'm getting like at a big ass burrito
Like, maybe-
that you said. Fucking dude, I ordered how these burritos, and like, wasn't expecting to be so.
Yeah, requires-
Or breakfast? Oh, just for like, fucking lunch. Maybe like, that's how you eat that. Yeah, off of,
Switches. I guess.
So like, I think fucking.
They're going right into the market, right?
Yeah,
Internet kind of
Like,
access.
you know where Mana is?
So how does it?
Right there.
They're on there.
Yeah, yeah.
They just.
No, I fucking cut it in half and I have the other piece in my.
Well, you know what?
Nah.
So that would be. I don't think I mean, it has like a sense of a sense around it. It's not like our. But yeah. Yeah, and then it also has the, you know, have to have like a sensor around it, like sensors. Or I guess it actually doesn't self that's running, but that the bumper, so it just like goes into the wall and then if it bumps.
Yeah.
I basically. Know
Oh, so I asked you something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's where. Yeah.
That's the last one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I heard that they have some that's not for the.
Yeah, we didn't do that, but we just did the last thing.
I'm seeing that right now. I'm gonna.
Oh,
Okay, if you are done drawing and discussing, do complete the survey. So that I know that you guys are done discussing.
It didn't work for me again.
7.
It was working for you in
Yeah, last semester it was.
one, right?
Yeah, but I don't know myself.
Yeah, I was gonna post on Galda yesterday, cause I forgot the code for yesterday's thing, and so I didn't even do it. It was like,
So when it posts and it shows 0 out of 1, then just let me know. So I can change it.
Is the school hiring more right now for computer engineering or they haven't hired, like they're not hiring right now, like.
I'm seeing username on poll everywhere. Not sure what to put there.
So my name, Justin Morris, and then the code that's going to change is 702. So the Justin Morris part will never change,
Okay.
but 702, that 3-digit string will change. And you just hit finish because it is the last question. So I just know that you're done. Okay, so let's discuss one of these things and I'll draw it out. So I went around and just asked you guys like what you were working on, what you thought of. So I wanted to go over your smart home plan. Is that okay? So like in the middle, you guys have like some home. Right? So this could be anything. It could be like an old laptop. Could be like, yeah, you can virtualize it. Have a just Docker container for your home automations, things like that. And there are open source softwares to use. One of them is Home Assistant. And Home Assistant would be able to connect to all of your different services. Like if you had one group was doing specifically a Ring camera over there. Like in this case, like a Ring camera would be an entity of this. So for the Ring camera, what do we have in terms of sensors? So visual. Okay. Any other sensors on a Ring camera? Any sensors that you think might be useful on a Ring camera?
wouldn't there be like a sound sensor?
What sensor?
A sound sensor for like, cause I know like for like the Ring cameras, like.
Oh, you mean a microphone?
Yeah.
So a microphone? Motion. What else? So let's just add as Wi-Fi.
Also, when you press it, you mean actually press the button.
You want your doorbell to work as a doorbell, it needs a button. Any other sensors? Sensor.
It's kind of a wild guess, but would you need ultrasonic to detect if something's closer than you?
That would be much less sensitive. Okay, so now let's move on to action. So we have speaker already, right? You might need multiple. You have your door chime that it should be able to activate, as well as a speaker to talk to the person that is using the microphone at the front. Anything else? I don't think a doorbell should do anything else than that, right? You don't want your doorbell to maybe open the door or anything like that. So, what was another branch from this?
I guess that's not controls, like it's.
Okay. So AC, again, this is going to use PID control. But what's it going to measure?
Sure.
What else?
It's also gonna be like thousand switches to finish input.
So dials. Is. And then it's going to control what's its actuators. So a fan, a heater, and probably a pump. Because again, this will have a radiator of some kind.
Like a condenser. So like that.
Yeah, the condenser is just like it sits outside, right? And the pump is what makes it work. So the pump is the actuator. Okay, so another one of these branches. So sensors.
We can have the weather station to summarize it.
Okay, in the weather station you have,
Sure.
so again, temp, humidity,
Like that's what weather, whether it's like sunny, rain, cloudy.
so a light sensor,
It's all that really matters for irrigation.
so this is all weather. And any other sensors?
Um. You know,
So in terms of actuators, Probably-
Switches.
probably valves. Or when you're gonna turn the sprinkler system on or not. And then I guess if you want more sensors, yes, so switches. User inputs in general. You want to be able to like override the system, turn the water on your own.
Also, but a long, like give them a time that the irrigation should be on.
Okay, so that would be like like how this internal PID. So we need some algorithm. So the computer could keep track of time, things like that. Anything else for irrigation? I'm sure it could be endless, but.
Yeah.
Okay, how much time do we have? Okay, we have 10 minutes. So let's do one more branch here. What's your favorite branch that you created over there?
my favorite was the irrigation, but
Okay, second favorite. Okay, then let's think of one together. What else would you want your home automation to do?
I guess some sort of like appliances, like a washer.
Like maybe your fridge, like it can check if you're low on something and like maybe deliver, like order online to deliver it, or, like alert you.
Okay, Yeah, that's a good idea.
Maybe automatic garage door.
Uh-huh.
'Cause I know like, cause I used to do work for Amazon, like delivering, and then there's some like customers, they have that like we just push on the phone and it opens the garage and then we put the package in. So I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, but
It's like some automation.
yeah, so it would be fairly simple, right? You need to know if the garage door is open or closed. So usually what people use for that is a reed sensor. It's just a magnet on one end. And then when the other part gets close to the magnet, the circuit closes. So that when it's closed, it's closed, and the circuit's closed. When it's open, circuit's open. So it would be simple as that, and then you would use a relay in order to you hit basically the button electronically to open the garage door. So it could be very simple. So let's try and do something a little bit more. I'm thinking secured. So let's do, because we have 10 minutes, so there's lots of things that we can talk about with security. What's the most obvious?
Camera.
What else? So let's put them as motors. Because, are you talking about like smart locks? Yeah.
The alarms.
So this would also be an actuator, an alarm.
A motion sensor.
So motion. And-
It's not like a read sensor to detect if there's a windows are open.
The read sensor on like all of your doors, all of your windows. Okay. Anything else in terms of actuators that you might want for security?
That's something to drop all the blinds in the house if someone's like trying to look inside.
So, like, so more motors. But lockdown mode. Maybe.
How about, say for like certain example, someone's trying to break in and the alarm goes off, wouldn't it send like a signal to maybe like the police? I don't know how would you call that?
So it is interacting with the outside world, but not sure how you would say what that is, but let's just call it a phone. Like it has a SIM card that can contact. And then any other sensors? Maybe you want to be able to turn your security system off. So we need buttons. Like to put in like your PIN code or whatever. So things like that. But I saw that you guys had lots of other things, right? So we all know what is going into these embedded systems, how computer engineering is being used. Okay. So I think with that, we can end a little bit early. And we're just 5 minutes early. And next time, we're going to talk a little bit more about computer engineering examples at San Marcos. And that's also when I'm going to talk to you about like the different courses and how they're related to computer engineering. Question,
What were the answers?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask that too.
answers?
Yeah, for
It's like a multiple choice.
the poll, but it doesn't say, we didn't know what to do.
Answer anything. Because it's just based on completion anyways.
Yeah.
Right? So I was just using it to know when you guys were done discussing today.
Yeah, like, I don't see any answers.
Oh, you want? Yeah, because they got that manager place.
Pink.
I heard yesterday, I was looking at these, they make up. I'm not even thinking right now. I'm looking at the rest of the-
Oh, yeah.